right, hello. We are going to learn about Google Classroom today, making virtual teaching easier than ever. So our objectives today are to create classes in that Google Classroom, create assignments, and to be able to create announcements. Now, if you have not ever heard of Google Classroom is a virtual way that you can assign assignments to your students. You can also create announcements, and you can communicate with them virtually. With the pandemic last year, this was the easiest way that it was done to be able to teach my students virtually. And I had never done Google Classroom before, so after extensive research and classes, I began using Google Classroom for 7 classes and teaching other teachers about it. So I'm going to first show you my exact Google Classroom for my classes, and then show you a blank one and how to create your own. So this was mine. If I go into Google Classroom, you'll see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes that I used it for creative writing and practical writing. And I listed, it says Ms. Harris's 9A, 9B, 10A, 10B, 11A, 11B. So I'm just going to take you into the first one. If you click on it, I was able to put my own background. I put the name, and then there's a class code, and that's how your students find your Google Classroom, is they will join a class and they'll put in that class code. At the top, you'll see the stream, and that's where all your announcements go. So you can see all the announcements that I put up. And then under classwork, that's where all your assignments go. To the left, all your topics. And you're able to create topics. I'm going quickly because I'm just showing you what it looks like before we dive into showing you how to create your own. And so this is where all your assignments go. You can add topics so it's easier for them to find it, what you're doing each week. And then they look under each topic and it shows the due dates. So you're able to put a topic to it. You name the assignment, you put a due date. It's super easy for the students to navigate and tell them when their due dates are, tell them what the assignments are. There are people, you can add teachers that will be able to go in and see your own work if you're collaborating with each other, or you want to add your principal in there, your supervisor. And then all of your students that are listed, they all have their individual emails, and then you'll be able to see each of your students that are in there. You can send them emails through this if you want to communicate with them one-on-one. And then if you go to grades, you'll be able to see all the work that you do for them, the due dates, the grades that you give them out of how many points, and then who is missing what work. You'll notice on mine there's a lot of missing work toward the end of the year. Just online was super difficult for all students, and not always that I actually graded the ones on here and put the grades on here, but more of talk to the students personally and gave them their grades. So this is what the Google Classroom looks like. And if you click that 3 little waffle, you can go back to all your classes. You can see your calendar, and then you can see all of your classes here. So we're going to look at a blank one, and I actually did this blank one through my husband's email. So it was easier because he doesn't have any Google Classroom. So when you go to create your Google Classroom, you're just doing it through a Google email, which is a Gmail. And if you click on that, it's going to show you the plus sign. If you click the plus sign, it's going to give you the option to join a class or create a class. You're not going to join a class, that's for your students. You're going to create a class. You understand, continue. It's going to give you the option to create that class name. We're going to name it 730. We're just going to name it writing. Then you can add that stuff if you want. It's going to give you the option to add a background to your class or a theme. Automatically will do the theme, and then it tells you how to invite your class. So it looks exactly like I showed you, that you're able to communicate with your class here. Create schedule announcements. You can schedule an announcement for tomorrow morning. You can schedule it for next week so that you don't forget. Your tab for your classwork. This is where you're going to create assignments or questions, and then you can use those topics. Google Classroom is great about navigating it through yourself so that you can work on it on your own. You can also have a class drive folder, and everything you create on here goes directly to your Google Drive. So when you go to create, it's going to give you the option to create an assignment, which is where you can upload stuff. A quiz assignment, it gives you the option to create a quiz directly on Google Classroom. Ask a question, students will answer it, upload material like a PowerPoint, or you can reuse a post from a different class if you have same class, different sections. There's your people where you can add your students. It's going to show you the teacher as Preston Harris, that's who created it. And then there's your grades. So some things we're going to practice first. What we want to do is to create an assignment. Let's do an assignment here. Let's name this writing. You give instructions. Write about your favorite pet. And then you can either upload a sheet for them to write on, or you can just assign it right here, assign it to all students. You can put a due date for the 2nd. Easy as assign it. And then each time a student turns in, you're going to get a notification. And then you can go back to your stream, and this is your announcement to your class. We'll just write welcome. Introduce yourself below, and then you're just going to post it, and then that shows the entire class. And then our next one was we created the classes, we created the assignments, we created the announcements. These are the basics of Google Classroom. It works great for your students. It works great for the teachers. You can keep up with it. It's very structured, and it really works during virtual learning. I hope that you're able to use it just as I was, and that it is so beneficial to you guys. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions on using Google Classroom, and I hope that you have learned at least the basics of Google Classroom and that you have fun playing around with it.